So in this section, there's not really much to know in terms of the operation of your calculator, because when it comes to probability, a lot of your answers are just the result of dividing two numbers. Occasionally, you might run into a situation where those numbers generate answers that are very small or very large, and it's good to know when that happens and act appropriately. So I've got an example here that will occur so that you can see what will happen when you're using the stats calculator. All right, so we have a question here that says, suppose you're taking a multiple choice exam with 10 questions and there are 5 possible answers on each question, only one of which is correct. If you don't know the answer to any question and randomly guess the answers, what is the probability of answering all 10 questions correctly? Well, for one particular question, if there's one answer that's right out of 5 possible answers, that gives us a 0.2 probability of answering that question correctly. So then, if that's the case, then there's a 0.2 probability of answering any of these questions correct. So if we want to get them all correct, we want the first question correct, and the second, and the third, and the fourth, and so forth. We're joining all these probabilities together with the word and. When we join probabilities together with the word and, we need to multiply those probabilities together. So I'm going to take 0.2 raised to the 10th power, because that'll be the probability of answering all 10 questions correct. So when I get this answer, I come up with a value that looks like this, 1.02 e minus 7. Now, nothing's wrong with the stats calculator. This is expected. Clearly the answer is not 1.02 because we can't have a probability that's greater than 1. So what the e minus 7 is, that's the way the calculator represents scientific notation. So it just means there's 6 leading zeros on this number, and instead of writing all of those leading zeros, which can get a little bit confusing when you're trying to process that, it's easy to skip over a bunch of leading zeros. The scientific notation means we have 1.02 times 10 to the negative 7th power. So that's what that little e represents here. And it's just a thing that calculators use for scientific notation because it's easier to put one character e on screen rather than the times 10 and then the exponent. So when you answer, just make sure you either write in standard scientific notation, so convert this to 1.02 times 10 to the negative 7, or change it to decimal notation, so put those 6 leading zeros and then the 102. That would be fine. And some questions might even accept it if you are rounding to 3 decimal places and they're all just 0, then it might just accept taking 0 anyway. So make sure you change it from the calculator notation, however, because oftentimes it won't accept that. All right.